Welcome to Unit 3, Level 2 video notes, and we will be performing 2 or 3-step conversions. Please have your conversion sheet ready. The average 1-year-old weighs 320 ounces. How many grams is that? So we need to change 320 ounces, and it's not a rate, so we're going to put over 1. And we need to change ounces to grams. And can we do that all in one shot? Well, ounces, it can be a liquid or a weight. Since we're changing it into grams, it is a weight. So please find these on your conversion sheet. And we need to go find a path to go from ounces to grams. And I found ounces right here. And unfortunately, grams is not on the other side. So I can try to connect it with one shot, like a direct conversion, but we can't. So I can go from ounces to pounds. Can I get my pounds to be grams? And I can right there. So I can go from ounces to pounds to grams. So let's do the ounces to pounds first. Remember that we want the labels to cancel diagonally, and we know that there are 16 ounces in 1 pound. So if we finish this conversion, our answer would be in pounds, and we need grams. All right, so now let's take our pounds and make them grams using this conversion. And I'm not going to put pounds on top, I'm going to put pounds on the bottom so that they cancel. And I know that 1 pound is 454 grams. Now that we have our units into grams, let's do the math. On top, multiplying straight across, 320 times 1 is itself, times 454 is 145,280. On the bottom, 1 times 16 times 1 is 16. So we want to divide the top by the denominator, and we get 9,080, and our unit is in grams. So 320 ounces is 9,080 grams. Our second example, Ava walked 2 miles each day for an entire year. How many meters did she walk in a year? This is our first example with a rate. So we need to go from 2 miles each day, so 2 miles for 1 day, and we need to change that to how many meters in 1 year. So what we need to do is change the top from miles to meters and the days into years. Okay, well, let's start it. 2 miles in 1 day. How many meters did she walk in 1 year? All right. Let's focus on the top first. Miles. Miles are down here, and I need to change it to meters. Well, I can change miles to kilometers, and then I can change kilometers to meters. So 2 miles, I can change to kilometers, and then I can change to meters. Let's do that first before we do the denominator. So I want the miles to cancel, and I know that there's a relationship between miles and kilometers where 1 mile is equal to about 1.61 kilometers. So the miles will cancel. So my answer would be in kilometers per day. Well, I want the kilometers to become meters. So let's work on this conversion. Kilometers on the bottom, so it cancels, and kilometers and meters. There's 1,000 meters in 1 kilometer. The kilometers will cancel, and I'll be left with meters. And on the bottom, I have days. So that's meters per day. So I have the meters part. Now I need to change it to days. Or I'm sorry, into years. And we know that there's 365 days in a year. Well, now to cancel diagonally, I have day on the bottom, so I need days on top. And year is the other relationship, so there are 365 days in 1 year. The days all the way over here, all the way over there, cancel. That's days divided by days, and we're left with year. Let me highlight this. We have meters on top, everything else canceled, and we have years on the bottom. We finish by multiplying straight across and then dividing. On top, 2 times 1.61 times 1,000 times 365 is, woo, that's a big number. 1,175,300. And on the bottom, we have 1 times 1 times 1 times 1. So anything divided by 1 is itself. So I'm just going to erase that because that's what we would have been left with. And our label is meters per year. So if Ava walks 2 miles each day every year, or I'm sorry, for an entire year, she really is walking 1,175,300 meters in that year. That's a lot of walking. Here's our last example. Susan needs ribbon for a craft project. The ribbon sells for $2.15 per yard. Find the cost in dollars for 300 inches of ribbon. Well, I know it's $2.15 for every yard. So that is like having a conversion there. And we need the money for 300 inches of ribbon. Well, let's take what we know, 300 inches, and we know we need to change that into yards so that we can then figure out how much money it is going to cost us for how many yards we have. And in the past, we did like 300 inches is how many feet, and we knew there was 12 inches and 1 foot. And if we cross multiplied that, we would get 25. Well, that would be the answer in feet. So then we could take our 25 feet is how many yards, and we know that there's 3 feet in 1 yard, and we would cross multiply that, and we would get a decimal as 8.3 repeating, and that's how many yards there was, so we would times that by 2.15 and get about $17.92, roughly that. Well, now we're going to do it with unit conversion. So I'm going to change my inches to feet, feet to yards, and then yards to cost. Check this out. So we have 300 inches over 1 to keep that value. Now I'm going to change my inches to feet, and then my feet to yards, and then my yards to my cost. Kind of like what I did over here, only with one sweep in the end. So I know that there are 12 inches and 1 foot. I put my inches on the bottom so they cancel. Feet on top, 12 inches is 1 foot. Now I need to change my feet to become yards. And I have my feet on the bottom so they cancel. 3 feet is 1 yard. All right, well now I can use this ratio, 2.15 for every 1 yard, or 1 yard for $2.15. Well, I want the yards to cancel. I'm going to be left with money. And 1 yard, there's $2.15. All right, we're ready to multiply straight across. 300 times 1 times 1 times $2.15 is 645. On the bottom, we have 1 times 12 times 3 times 1, and that is 36. 645 divided by 36 in the end is 17.916 repeating. And there's our answer that we got earlier. So there is more than one way to do some questions, but I think that this was pretty cool compared to that. Good luck with your assignment.